Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game. It's in fact taken from one of our Friday custom double up games. We're playing here on the first week of set 16. We managed to fill up an entire lobby. We actually had all 8 people from our group, which was fantastic. We did not have to go through matchmaking, and we didn't have to worry about anyone gaining or losing the riot points or LP, whatever they're called. In this game, I am going to be playing together with Shallow Thought. I am going to be playing a Shadow Isles team composition, one that specifically focuses on Viego. And we're actually going to see Viego do his best carry impression here in this game. You might also notice that this is footage taken from the live stream. Because this is a game that I did on live stream, I do not have the post commentary footage, so I just took the footage from the live stream and now I'm recording some post commentary on it after the fact. What I'm saying now that you're hearing is not going to line up with my past self down there in the corner, but I had to mute my past self or you'd hear 2 people talking, and that would get very, very confusing. So for this game, as I said, we're going to be doing a Shadow Isles team composition. Shadow Isles is a unique team composition here in set 16. We are, by the way, on the very first week of this. I think this was the Friday. The set came out on a Wednesday, and this was the Friday of the same week. So a lot of us are still trying to figure things out here. Anyway, as I was saying, Shadow Isles, definitely a unique team composition overall for the set. It is a vertical trait, but it's interesting because the only Shadow Isles unit that you can find in the normal pool is Viego. All of the other Shadow Isles units have to be unlocked. There's a 1 cost, which is Viego, and then a 2 cost, a 3 cost, a 4 cost, and a 5 cost. The only one that can be unlocked naturally is the Viego. You have to unlock all of the others by playing Viego and then other Shadow Isles units. So it's actually pretty strong here. There's actually a bug associated with it here in Double Up, and I will talk about that bug. I was very aware of it while playing. But first, let's get into this. The encounter that we had this game was everybody gets an additional augment reroll, which doesn't really affect things too much. I rolled once and, oh, the Ruined King gained a 2-star Viego. Your strongest Viego shares 30% of his passive with other Shadow Isles units. Gain a 2-star Viego. Yeah, so this immediately gives me a 2-star Viego, and I already had 2 Viegos on my bench. So that immediately takes me to 5 Viegos, which is quite nice because I would like to 3-star this unit. This augment is generally seen as being one of the strongest hero augments. It is particularly strong here if you can play it in Double Up, where Viego just gets like really, really, really strong. Now, there is one downside to this, me taking this. I actually have a 2-item start, and while a 2-item start would normally not be that bad, it actually is kind of bad in this situation here. That's because the unlock for the other Shadow Isles units, in order to unlock the Yorick, who is the 2-cost Shadow Isles unit, who you need to get the trait in play. You literally can't get the trait in play without unlocking Yorick. The unlock is you have to play a 2-star Viego with 2 items equipped. 2 items equipped. Now, normally that's not that bad. Normally in most games you get a 3-item start. That's the default in Teamfight Tactics, to start with 3 items. So you just, you slam some kind of item and then you put a leftover item. Boom, Viego has 2 items. You can unlock Yorick. I have the 2-star Viego very easily. Like, I got that one for free. Now I'm actually up to 6 Viegos because I find another one in my shop. But because I have a 2-item start, I actually cannot unlock Yorick because I need another item, and I don't have another item, unfortunately. So this is kind of sad, but this is definitely going to slow down my start a little bit because I want to get that unlock, because I want to get Shadow Isles trait in play, and I want to start stacking souls. This is the unique mechanic for Shadow Isles. So once the trait is in play, which again requires putting 2 items on a 2-star Viego and unlocking Yorick, your team collects souls, and souls give additional properties to other Shadow Isles units. By the way, Nyaluna is also going to be playing Viego in this game. He also has, I believe he also has 6 Viegos already, because he has a 2-star on the board, and I think he has another 2-star on his bench. But anyway, the way the trait works is once you actually have it in play, you will start collecting souls. Every time a unit of either player dies, you gain a soul. So as your units die in combat, as the opponent's units die in combat, you will collect a soul for each one. And then as you get more souls, it will unlock more of the Shadow Isles units. So as I said, you unlock the Yorick just by putting 2 items on a 2-star Viego. But in order to get the other Shadow Isles units, you have to collect a certain number of souls. The first one is Gwen, who's the 3 cost. I think Gwen is 20 souls, and then Callista unlocks, I think it's 75 souls. And then Thresh is the really expensive one, who I believe requires 175. It's something right around that. These numbers will probably get tweaked in patches anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm not looking at a cheat sheet here. So yeah, you need to get the trait in play, and then you need to start collecting souls. As you play deeper into the trait, you get a multiplier on the souls. So normally at Shadow Isles 2, it's just for every unit that dies, you get 1 soul on either your board or your opponent's board. When you get Shadow Isles 3 in, I believe the multiplier goes up to 1.25. So if you had 10 units die, instead of getting 10 souls, you'd get 12 or 12.5. However that works out. And then it goes up. I think it's a 50% multiplier at Shadow Isles 4, and it's a 100% multiplier at Shadow Isles 5. So you get Shadow Isles 5 in, you get 2 souls for every unit that dies, either yourself or your opponents. Again, I need to get Shadow Isles trait on the board for that to actually happen. So I'm finally going to get an item here. I was able to trade my belt for a cloak with Shallow Thought. I requested that trade. This is double up mode, so you can trade items, but you can only trade a component for a component. You can't trade a component for nothing. So we were able to make that trade. I was able to get Bloodthirster, which is one of the key items here on Viego. So now I'm going to take this bow, and then I'm going to hopefully get a vest and use it to make a Titans, which is another good item on Viego. Viego one's just kind of standard melee, carry, itemization. Bloodthirster's good. Edge of Night's good. Titans is good. Steric's not quite as good, but not bad. Quicksilver Sash, not that bad. Now that I have the bow on Viego, now I have 3 items, or excuse me, now I have 2 items on Viego. Now I can finally unlock the Yorick, but I have to play a 2-star Viego with 2 items for 1 round in order to get the unlock. Otherwise, I do not qualify for it until I have played another round. So I'm forced to go yet another round without Shadow Isles trait in. And I've actually been slowed down quite a bit here because I've gone all of stage 2 without getting any souls whatsoever. Like, if I'd been able to get this trait on the board, if I had just not had a 2-item start, I definitely would have had Gwen on the board by now, and I would have been making good progress towards Callista as well. Here I'm up against Antisocial Monkey's board. He has taken Stars Are Born, and that gives you a 2-star 1 cost and a 2-star 2 cost. Well, it doesn't give you them. You have to buy them in the shop, but when you click on one of them, you immediately get a 2-star 1 cost and a 2-star 2 cost. He's used that to make early 2-star Bard. He's going to be doing Bruiser reroll with Bard. That's a really strong board, and he's off to a great start. Good news is Yorick finally does unlock, so now we can put Yorick on the board. I knew he was going to pop up on the next round, so now I can move out of that temporary front line. I had hit this early blitzcrank, so I played Juggernaut front line for the first couple rounds. But when you're playing a Shadow Isles board, you want to play Warden front line because the Yorick is Shadow Isles Warden, and then Thresh, when you unlock him at the 5 cost tier, is also Shadow Isles Warden. There we go. So Gwen, yeah, unlocks at 20 Shadow Isles souls. Now I will finally, and I mean finally, be able to start collecting souls. So yeah, you see the trait description there. You also get some minor stats for having Shadow Isles in, but the big thing is you start collecting souls, and then all of their abilities get extra properties based on how many souls they have. Viego's is every 6 souls he gets 1% attack speed. So yeah, I mean, that's not a lot, but you get 200 souls, that's like 35% attack speed. It's not nothing. It will scale up over the course of the game. So anyway, we're going to collect some souls. We get 4 souls, and now we're going to go over to Shallow Thoughts board, and now, this is where we have to talk about the other effect and the reason why this comp is better in double up than in normal TFT. Note that I went over to Shallow Thoughts board there. There is what we think is a bug, has not been officially labeled a bug by the developers yet. We think it's a bug. If you go over to your partner's board in double up, you will get credit for every single unit that dies on that board as well as your own. Yeah, see how it says 14 souls collected? I only got 4 souls on my board. I got another 10 souls on Shallow Thoughts board because it counted every single unit of Shallow Thoughts that died and every unit of his opponents that died in order for me to get that round. By the way, I get a vest here, which is fantastic. There's my Titan's Resolve. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And I even got another Viego from the minion round. So I'm on 8 Viegos already, which is just great. I only need the one more. So this is why it's so strong in double up mode. I believe it only happens if you go to the other person's board. I believe it does not happen if they come over to your board. By the way, because I'm on 8 out of 9 Viegos and I really want to spike here, I'm actually going to roll a little bit to see if I can hit the Viego 3-star. I realize I'm rolling under 50 gold. I'm aware of this, but I wanted to try to hit this unit. I don't hit this unit. I do get another Yorick, and I get another Nautilus, so I guess that's okay. And then I think I was planning on rolling to 30. Do I stop here? I guess I ended up stopping here. Yeah, okay, I ended up stopping here. I don't want to roll too low, but like it's such a humongous spike if I hit the Viego 3-star. I did think it was worthwhile to roll a little bit more. By the way, I'm also on Twisted Fate pair. Twisted Fate's in there to activate Quick Striker trait. I'm also on Nautilus pair, and now I'm also on Yorick pair, and I'm on 8 out of 9 Viegos. I mean, when you're in a situation like this, it is worthwhile to roll yourself under 50 gold to try to hit some of this. Good news is I do get Gwen. I do not go over to Shallow Thoughts board, but enough units died that I unlock the Gwen anyway. So like you can see why it's so important for my board to be strong. I collect an immense number of souls if I can win my round and then get over to Shallow Thoughts board. Again, I don't know if this is intended, but this is how the mechanic works right now. So it is 100% worthwhile to sacrifice some econ to have a strong board so I can win my round and then get over to Shallow Thoughts board and collect more souls over there. All right, our second augment is silver. What I really want here is just more money, but I'm not sure that I see any that actually give me more money. I could have just taken the random augment, but I didn't really want to do that. Healing Arms, no. The Fire Hex is kind of interesting, but I don't know where that pops up. It's not Dummify. So I'll take the Boxing Lessons option. This gives my team 30 additional health for every unit that stands in the front row. Well, most of my team is going to stand in the front row. I probably will have like 5 or 6 champions standing in the front row. So that's not bad for a silver augment overall. And I'll put the Gwen in the front row as well. So right now I have 4 units in the front row. That's 160 bonus health. It's not nothing. And I'm continuing to roll here. And once again, I roll down to 30, but I don't hit, which is pretty bad. I'll actually sell the TF because I don't really care about Twisted Fate. I'd rather have 2 out of 3 Gwens than TF 2-star. But now, once again, now I have Gwen pair, Nautilus pair, Yorick pair, and 8 out of 9 Viegos. So I really just need to hit this. I think if I can hit the 3-star Viego, my board's going to take off and get really, really strong. So I have every incentive in the world to keep pushing this. But for the moment, I'm losing these rounds. And unfortunately, we're not in a great place health-wise either. Like, we're going to get decent carousel priority here, but like, we're actually losing a fair bit of health here. We're already down to 67 health, and that is also coloring my impressions to some extent as well. I'm trying to get us to preserve health. Shallow Thought, just for his part, he took an augment. He took Worth the Wait, which gives him a unit every single round, and the unit it gave him was Rumble. He's getting a Rumble every single round. So he kind of had to play Yordles, and oh, there we go. Thank God, Yorick shows up. Not Yorick, the Viego shows up. I had another TF. Like I've been like so close to TF 2-star multiple times, and then I get a Nautilus coming over from Shallow Thought. So my board definitely got a lot stronger. Nautilus 2-star and the Viego 3-star. But anyway, yeah, I definitely could have had a 3-star, or excuse me, a 2-star TF by now. But anyway, to get back to that point, Shallow Thought, he took Worth the Wait. He's getting a Rumble every single round. Well, if he's getting a Rumble every round, he doesn't have much of a choice. He kind of has to play Yordles. But the problem is there's 2 other people also playing Yordles in this lobby. And so every single one of them is getting a Yordle every single round. And so they're all combined to be taking like an insane amount of Yordles out of the pool. By the way, I win this round. I'm going to get to go over to the other board. And here we go. This is Headwinder and Antisocial Monkey. They are both on Shallow Thoughts board. So I'm not going to win this, but I kill a lot of units between the units that Shallow Thought killed, the units I killed. I get a lot of souls. I'm all the way up to 74 souls already. I just unlocked Callista. I guess her unlock is 70 souls. I couldn't remember if it was 70 or 75, but I just unlocked Callista. I was like, what the heck? I've already unlocked Callista. Yeah, you get a ridiculous number of souls when you're going over to your partner's board, because you can technically get the souls for your board, the souls for your opponent, the souls of your partner's board, and the souls of your partner's opponent's board, plus the souls of your partner's opponent's board, if they come over to reinforce as well. So in theory, you could actually get the souls of 5 boards if it all plays out correctly, which is what happened on that last round. Again, I don't think it's intended to work this way, but it does work that way. And I feel like I have to take advantage of it. If that like I have to take advantage of it if that's the way the mechanic is working right now. So I'm definitely prioritizing board strength over economy. I would like to let my econ recover a little bit. I would like to get back up to 50 gold here. But I mean, to some extent, it's like we just have to keep playing these units. Good news is I hit the Callista, so I will put that on the board. Callista is another one of the main carries on this board. She's a backliner. She's basically an AD caster. When her mana bar fills up, she tosses out these spears, and she gets more spears per for the amount of souls you have. Every 20 souls gives her another spear. I remember seeing that. I think by default she has 20 of them, and then every 20 souls she gets another spear. So if by some chance you would get like 300 souls, you know, that's 15 extra spears. You know, that's a lot. Obviously that's a lot of souls, but I'm going to be stacking them up pretty fast here. This round I'm up against Naya Luna. Naya Luna pushed tempo a little bit harder. He went for, he just 2-starred the Viego. He did not try to 3-star the Viego and went to level 7, which probably makes sense. Like, a lot of the time, you don't necessarily want a 3-star Viego. I just have the Viego hero augment, so I really need to 3-star him. I actually get an additional ability on Viego when he hits the 100 gold or 100 souls, which I actually just got on that last round. See, now his ability changes. I'll read the description in just a second. This was the double up gift round, and I just opted for 2 4-costs. Not because I wanted to play any 4-cost units. I mean, I would have held Callista if she had popped out, but I just wanted 9 gold. I was so far behind the 8 ball economically. I just wanted the 8 gold from selling the 2 of them. Anyway, since we just did 100 souls, let me go ahead and read the Viego hero augment description. Again, Viego's normal ability is replaced by this. It's basically his ability from set 10. Yeah, in addition to that passive where he gets extra attack speed based on collecting souls. Here's the active. Leap to the largest group of enemies within 2 hexes. Deal physical damage split between adjacent enemies, plus physical damage to each. For the rest of combat, Viego's attacks deal bonus stacking magic damage. Again, it's basically his ult from set 10, the music set, for those who might remember that. He jumps and hits a cluster of enemies, and then he splits damage between them, and then he'll get stacking magic damage after that. So yeah, he is working his way through ASM's front line here. And fortunately, he had enough health. I was a little worried he was going to die before the Scion. But, yep, he gets back there. He kills the front line. Does 9,000 damage. Now, we get over there just in time to get over to Shallow Thought's board. And, give me those souls. Wow, I was just over 100 souls. I got like another 25 souls from that round, which is ridiculous. I'm stacking up these souls so fast by going over to the other board. Now, I toss another Warden on the board here, and like that's not bad. The Wardens give frontline, so Viego can run around killing things. I might have done better to pick up the Yunara here and put Quick Striker trait in play. That said, Quick Striker 2 is not that great of a trait, and I'm really playing through the Shadow Isles units here. I'm stacking up a lot of souls really fast. So the way I'm building my board is the Shadow Isles units are going to be the damage dealers. Everyone else on the board is just a trait bot, and as far as that goes, it might be better to put in another Warden just as a trait bot over playing a Warden playing like a Quick Striker that's not really going to do anything other than give Viego. I think Quick Striker gives a little bit of an additional attack speed, but like Viego's got so much attack speed from all these souls, he doesn't really need that anyway. So based on that last round, you might think, oh cool, you got a rod and a bow. Why don't you just like slam Rageblade? Yeah, Rageblade's not a good Callista item. She's an AD caster. She wants like Infinity Edge, Spear of Shojin, blah, 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 that sort of thing. Deathblade. Striker's Flail is pretty good, so that wasn't an item I was looking to make. What I do instead is I go ahead and make an Edge of Night, and that is a very, and I mean a very good Viego item, because it gives him the aggression drop. If he starts to get focused in a fight, he can drop aggression, which is just what he needs. That plus the Bloodthirster plus the Titans keep him alive, and so he can just dash around killing people using his ultimate, and just being a general nuisance here in these fights, because he does actually take a lot of damage in these fights, but being a 3-star unit with the Bloodthirster, the Titans, and then the aggression drop from Measure of Nice is super nice. Now we get over to this other board. It looks like this is Willow facing up against Shallow Thought. Give me your souls. Nom 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 nom. I want those souls. Did I get enough to unlock Thresh this round? I think I'm pretty close to unlocking the Thresh. Remember, I did not have Shadow's Isle trait in until the final round of Stage 2. Did not have it until the final round of stage 2, and I already almost have Thrush in at the start of stage 4. So this is pretty ridiculous how many I'm getting. We also have a Prismatic Augment here, and there's some good options here, like Coronation for +1 team size is not bad. I could take Commerce Core to reroll, but again, I opt to take a Combat Augment here, which is tiny but deadly. This has really good synergy with a Shadow Isles board. More attack speed for Viego. He's going to be smaller. I don't know if that makes them harder to hit, but extra attack speed, the extra movement speed is actually a big deal as well. Most of this team is based on melee units. You have the Viego, who's melee. You have Gwen, who's melee. Callista is not, but the extra attack speed is really good on her. And then to have the tanks in Yorick and Thresh is just a very nice amount of synergy when playing this trait. So I had thought that this would be a pretty good choice to begin with. And then I think I looked at had a guide up while I was playing this that also suggested Tiny but Deadly was good. And I was like, yeah, I thought it would be good, but it's nice to have reassurance from like people who are better at this game than me that Tiny but Deadly is actually quite good here. So it's going to be nice. It means my team is basically turned into like challengers from earlier TFT sets. Now we run around like maniacs all the time, and that's just going to mean that we can kill things faster. Here we go. Give me your souls. Give me your souls. So once again, we come over here and we kind of have like lucked our way into this really nice setup where I go over to Shallow Thought's board in like every single round because he just cannot find the Yordles he needs because so many other people are playing Yordles. Also, the fact that he's going for a 4-star Rumble is kind of griefing his bench space, which is also not great. So like that's also not great that he's getting his bench griefed by having to hold as many as 27 Rumbles over the course of the game. But what else can he do? I mean, he took worth the wait. It's either that or he doesn't get value out of his augment. If you're curious about this, why I keep like alt-tabbing here, when the set started, apparently the client changed my Windows settings. I always set the client to windowed mode, like full screen windowed, but apparently it set it back to full screen, not windowed or not borderless windowed. So I had to change that setting. And after I saw this footage, I went back and changed it. So hopefully that won't happen again for future videos, but there wasn't a whole lot I could do here. I didn't even know this was happening until after I went back and looked at the recording. Anyway, now I have Thrush on the board, so I have all 5 of the Shadow Isles units on my board now. That means we get double souls. Whatever we kill, we get 2 times souls. Plus, once again, we're over on Shallow Thought's board, devouring all those yummy, yummy souls over there on that board as well. So we've unlocked all the Shadow Isles units, but like the scaling will continue. As we get more souls, it's still going to be more spears for Callista. It's going to be more attack speed for Viego. I can't remember what Gwen's ability does. But, and the extra unit Thresh. Thresh is the 5 cost who caps off this board. It means Thresh is going to deal more damage as well. So Thresh's ability has 2 components. There's a passive function. He deals ticking magic damage every second to all units within 2 range. So that's pretty nice. Like he just does ticking magic damage over time. And he's just going to deal that consistently to anyone who's close to him. As you get more souls, the passive ticking magic damage over time goes up as well. I'd have to double check exactly how much it is, but I know the more souls you get, the more I like the default amount I think is like 20 ticking magic damage per second. It goes up to 50, I think, if he's 2-starred. And then I think it's like every 10 souls you get another one damage or something like that. Maybe my past self will highlight Thrush and this will be helpful. No, I need to look at his actual unit sheet. So anyway, that's his passive function. Then his active function is he will toss out his chain and he'll grab units in the corner and he will pull them in towards the center. He'll also put down the box, his ult from normal League of Legends, and like grab units and pull them towards the middle of the board where they get hit by the box. So a very good unit, definitely. Difficult to unlock. You'll only see this unit in vertical Shadow Isles team compositions. You can, of course, like pivot out of vertical Shadow Isles once you unlock Thresh, but like clearly I don't want to do that. I want to keep playing Shadow Isles. I want to keep stacking up these souls is really, really nice. Okay, now I've been on the big win streak. Can I win this round? Callista, if she had gotten the spears off, I actually think I would have won that round, but sadly my win streak does come to an end here up against, I think that was Willow's Yordle board. Again, Willow is playing Yordles. I believe Grillo is playing Yordles, and then Shallow Thought is also playing Yordles. There's so many Yordles out of the pool in this game. It's ridiculous. I believe Grillo said after our game, he got to 8 out of 9 Rumbles, and he literally could not find the 9th Rumble because every Rumble was out of the pool because Shallow Thought had like 18 or 19 Rumbles by this point in time. Even though there's 30 Rumbles overall, 30 is still not infinite. So, you know, if all 30 are out, you can't get the last one. Everybody's got all the stupid rumbles out of the pool. So anyway, my win streak comes to an end, and I'm just still trying to power level here. I really want to get to level 9. At level 9, I have better odds to see the 2-star Thresh, which I really want. Thresh gets much stronger at 2 stars. As I said, I think he's ticking magic damage. By the way, you can see the circle where he's dealing magic damage every second to nearby units. And look at that. We just grabbed Bard and pulled Bard into the box. Pull Bard. But anyway, as I said, Thresh does get a lot stronger at 2-star. And I also want to fill out this board with some 5 costs. I want to get an Ambusher. Is that what the trait's called? Ambusher to pair with my Callista. She is Shadow Isles and... no, Vanquisher. It's called Vanquisher. Ambusher is a very similarly named trait, but that's from a different set. So I want to get a Vanquisher to pair with Callista. That allows her abilities to crit without Infinity Edge, although of course she does already have Infinity Edge. And then I'd also like to put in a Quick Striker. I'd like to put in like the, what's his name? The Kindred, who's a really good 5 cost. And Fiddlesticks. And then I can take one of these Wardens out. And I'd like to play, what's her name? Seraphine. Because Seraphine will give me Disruptor trait. And she'll actually put Piltover trait in as well. That's the reason why I'm holding the Lorises on my bench. Because I want to put Piltover trait in. All right, now I need to finish itemizing some of these units. I'm looking at what I've got here, and one thing I am missing is I do not have any armor shred for my board. I actually really need to get some kind of armor shred. I would have liked to have made Evan Shroud, but I just don't really have the pieces for Evan Shroud here based on what I've got. So when I see the opportunity to do Last Whisper, I was like, yeah, I'll just do Last Whisper. Callista applies it pretty well. She hits a good portion of the board with her ability. That does mean I'm left with a leftover Archangel Staff, which I definitely do not want, but... I mean, okay, I'll put it on Thresh. It's really not the item I want on Thresh, but I can live with it. He does scale over time. By the way, I have 5 Wardens in right now. I really don't want 5 Wardens. Probably should have held, I probably should have put the Gangplank on the board right now. I think Vanquisher trait here would definitely be better. Vanquisher trait for Callista would be better than having 5 Wardens in. I don't think the 5 Wardens is really doing anything. But that's what I had. I wasn't really paying attention to the Gangplank in my shop, so that's kind of a whiff on my part, but it is what it is. I still have the Viego up, and it looks like we were able to kill the Set when he was trying to come back to do push-ups. And there we go. Give me your souls. Come on over here. Yep, we're going to just devour even more souls at this point and continue scaling up our abilities. Again, more attack speed for Viego, more spears for Callista, more ticking magic damage to Thresh. And I should have looked up what Yorick and Gwen get, but I'm not itemizing Yorick or Gwen, so they're kind of in there as trait bots. It's really the Viego is my main carry, and then Callista's secondary carry, and Thresh actually chips in a decent amount of damage as well on this board. Okay, here is the second incarnation of the double up gift round. I am hoping to have the same choice that Shallothot just got. I just want to get gold. I want to get to level 9. I really want to get to 9 and start rolling on 9. Again, my economy was slowed by a pretty big margin because I did roll a fair bit on level 5 and I rolled below 50 gold, so I cut into my income. But the good news is we have managed to preserve a decent amount of health, so we're still up at the 54 health, whereas before we were 67 health like halfway through stage 3, and we're still at 54 health right here. So we're in reasonably good shape, and just going to go to level 9 and try to play better units and fill out my synergies and keep scaling up with even more souls. I was not sure how many souls I could get before the game's end. Because Thresh is the 5 cost unit and he's at 175, I think the developers only intend you to get like 250 or so, but like I'm well over that already in terms of souls. Again, this double up bug or whatever you call it is just feeding me an absolutely ridiculous number of souls in this game. So I'm glad I got some footage of this while this was still in place. It actually will hopefully be corrected because Shadow Isles is kind of dominating in double up right now to like an unhealthy degree. We haven't really been seeing that yet because the set just started. Oh, I have 406 souls. Oh my god. I have 406 souls. We just started stage 5. Oh my god. Okay. Just to run the math on that, remember, Callista gets a new spear every 20. Oh yeah, here I just take the champions. 5 4-cost champions. And my goal is just to basically sell all of them because I don't really care about any of this. And I do want to put Yunara on the board for Quick Striker, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we can probably go to level 9 on the next round. Anyway, though, 406 souls. Yeah, I'll take the Braum off because 4 Warden is probably plenty here. Like I said, 406 souls. Callista gets a new spear every 20 souls, so she's supposed to get 20 spears. Well, I have 400 souls. That's another 20 spears, so she's literally doubling her damage. because she gets double the number of spears that she gets by default. I mean, you're starting to talk about some pretty serious damage there once you're getting that much. She's just outscaled by Viego in these fights because Viego's also scaling off the number of souls. And even Thresh is actually doing quite a bit of damage as well. I mean, he does go down eventually in these fights, but he does a fair amount of damage before that happens. Okay, now this fight is close. Can Callista clutch this one out? No. No, Callista can't. So I do actually lose to Willow's board there. Willow's actually close to Teemo 3 and Lulu 3 over there. Again, the Yordle players are all suffering because so many Yordles are out of the pool. But now I'm going level 9, so hopefully my board can get a little bit stronger here. Again, I was basically in econ mode from the middle of stage 3 to the middle of stage 5. Now I need to get one more item. I could use a Thresh item here. I could also use a Callista item here. Either one of them would be nice. The downside is I am third pick, so I'll have to see what I can do in terms of getting these items here. Sadly, nothing that's whatsoever looks like a Callista item. Like, just nothing here is particularly good for an AD caster. Maybe I could do the... I really wanted that Void Staff, by the way. Maybe I could... I wanted to put the Void Staff on Thresh, actually. Maybe I could have done Adaptive Helm, but I don't think that that's quite right. So I just take a generic tank item for Thresh instead. I don't really want... I don't think that this is, like, amazing, the Steadfast Heart, but it's fine. Oh, and by the way, here, then I get the I was going to play Ambessa, but then I just find Fiddlesticks, who's a better Vanquisher. So we'll go with that, and we're just going to keep rolling here. All right, well, there's my 2-star Callista. Now, I just want to find a... what's her name? A Seraphine. I just need to find a Seraphine now, because then I can take out Nautilus, who, by the way, has really been great for me in this game. He was my first 2-star frontliner with Warden trait, but I can take him off the board, drop down to 3 Warden, and then pick up Disruptor and Piltover trait from Seraphine, which will be nice. Disruptor is the trait that, units damaged by Disruptors deal. I think it's like 10% less damage, something like that. I mean, Gwen has no items. If I could get like a Thief's Glove, I would love to slap it on Gwen. She has no items, but like she's still doing damage in these fights. She didn't really do that much damage. But the Viego did 12,000 and the Callista did 7,000 damage. So yeah, we're looking pretty solid. Shallow Thoughts board is unfortunately just not that strong because he has not been able to hit the Yordles the whole game because they're just so contested in this lobby. So we do have to watch our health. We have to, I could just opt to wait here and roll after the minion round, but I didn't want to wait that long because I was worried that we were going to get outscaled. And anyway, there's Seraphine. She finally shows up. We do have to watch our health. We cannot lose too much health here. I'm going to take EMP, which at the moment is seen as being the strongest of the Piltover options. If you haven't seen Piltover trait before, Piltover can be played vertically or as a splash. People mostly play it as a 2 Piltover splash. It gives you these items that pop up on the right-hand side of the screen. They take effect 8 seconds into the fight. EMP is considered to be the best one of them because it increases the mana cost of all of the champions on the board, on the enemy board. Their next cast, I believe, is 25% higher mana cost or something like that, which is, really good. It hits the whole enemy board. Is quite nice. All right, we're going to be able to beat Nyaluna's board. Again, Nyaluna's also playing Shadow Isles trade. It would be good for me if I could get Nyaluna out of the lobby, to be perfectly honest. Poor Nyaluna. But it would be good to get that board out of the lobby so those Shadow Isles units go back into the pool. I believe Nyaluna was only on like 200 souls, where I was getting close to, I was right around 500 at this point, which is, again, just a completely insane amount of souls to have on the board. All right, so right now I'm going to roll again after the minion round. I am looking for one more Thresh. I'm looking for one more, one more Fiddlesticks. And then I would like to replace the Yunara with a Kindred. And then that'll be my board. And I think that the lobby's going to be over before I can realistically try to go to level 10. We did finally hit the 4-star Rumble on Shallow Thoughts board. And I know I asked, I was like, how good does the 4-star Rumble feel? And he was like, okay. Not amazing. Oh, I actually got a Reforger this round. I could have tried to reforge some of Thresh's items. What's it called? The Archangel Staff is not really that great here. But I hit the 2-star Thresh. That's really big. I also hit a 2-star Seraphine, which is not especially big. And there's Kindred. So we'll just put the Kindred on the board here. And then I get the option to pick another item here. I could do Giant Slayer, which I was hovering, which would not be bad for Callista. But I was like, I don't have a heal cut on my board. I'm going to do the Morellos instead. Thresh applies it really, really well. So Morellos is one of his best items. I have seen suggested getting Morellos, getting Void Staff, because that then is a magic shred for all the magic damage that he's doing in like area of effect. And then like a bloodthirster, so he heals off of the damage that he's doing and also gets the shield. So Viego does die in this fight, but by the time Viego goes down, we've killed most of Willow's board. So we're actually going to knock Willow out, and now we're going to go over to Shallow Thought's board, but both ASM and Headwinder are over here, and we're not going to be able to... Oh, never mind. Headwinder wasn't over there yet. But anyway, we are going to lose that side of the matchup. So it is down now to just 2 of us. Unsurprisingly, Headwinder and Antisocial Monkey are the other team that is down here in the duel to the finish. So we're at 13 health, though. They're at 5 health, so hopefully that gives us an edge. If we can win either side of the matchup here, we'll get them down to 1 HP. So I'm hoping I can win my side of the matchup. I have ASM's board. His Scion has 10,000 health. He has 3-star Mundo, 3-star Scion, 3-star Shen, 3-star Alawi, and 3-star Bard back there. So his board is extremely tanky. I don't know if I have... I guess it's good that I have like the Morellos for some percentage health damage. He also has 2-star Volibear over there. I saw that he shifted the Bard to the opposite side, so I'm going to shift to the other side as well. By the way, this board is really strong that he has here. Really, really strong board over there. So I definitely have to win this round because I think that Shallow Thought's board is not as strong as Headwinder's board here. So the good news is we are cutting through this board relatively quickly. Viego gets on the back line and starts killing things. And, oh, okay, yeah, it looks like Viego did 16,000 damage. Thrust did 12,000. We did a lot of damage, so we win that round. And then now it's down to... We dropped down to 3 HP, so we don't exactly have a big margin for error here. But we are able to knock their team down to 1 HP. And that is real 1 HP, not the fake 1 HP you sometimes have in Double Up. All right, so I interestingly have a Kindred in my shop. It's kind of interesting. If I win the round, I can buy the Kindred without having to lock for it. But if I win the round, the game is over. Because if I beat Headwinder's Freljord / Ionia board, then the game is just over. So I was like, oh, I guess I do have to lock because if I get enough gold to buy the unit, the game's just over here anyway. All right, so I'm hoping I can win this. I'm hoping Viego can get in there on the back row. Viego actually is taking a decent amount of damage, but again, the Edge of Night, so important in fights like this. Now, all right, he's on the Unara. He's got this one. And yeah, the Set actually does kill him, but I think Callista's got this. I don't think Set can kill Thresh and Callista. So again, a close fight, a pretty close fight. But I win the round, and Shallow Thought did lose to ASM, so we dropped down to 1 HP, but we had the 1 HP, we had 3, and that's going to be enough to win this one. A very, very close lobby, very, very narrow. I checked and I ended up, I think I had 530-something souls at the end, and I would have gotten like another 20 souls at the end of that. So I had like almost 550 souls, which is, again, just insane. You were not supposed to have that many souls. Viego's ult was dealing like 1,200 damage every time he got it off, and he had 98% bonus attack speed. Pretty ridiculous. I don't think this is intended, but I did want to have a chance to show this. I had the footage, so why not? Hopefully it was fun to watch. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, have a great week, folks. Take care. I'll see you guys soon.